Om Vandeham Sri Guru Sidutapadakammalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Vandeham Sri Guru Sidutapadakammalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhannitamscha Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhannitamscha Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Mishavatarakam Tat Prakashanscha Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangakam Vande Guru Padadvandam Bhakta Vrinda Samannitam Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Bande Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Bande Nityananda Sahoditam Sri Nandan Bande Radhika Charanodayam Gopi Jana Samajuktam Vrindavano Manoharam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gauriya Gurvannai Dhatu Bhanuriva Prabhato Gagani Yogaura Sankirtan Maya Padakingilo Gatano Dhrita Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudha Vidhigahana Sukham Pradate Prabhum Tam Bhaji Gaurangaika Gati Brajasitamati Sri Gauradhama Sthiti Satchastraika Vritti Kusanga Virati Dustha Vyatha Niskriti Sri Rupai Karati Sanatananati Sri Jivate Jastati Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vijayati Gauriya Gashtipati Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama auspicious beginning of Sri Harikatha, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the holy lotus feet of all their divine graces, my Sri Guru Pada Padma, all my Guru Pada Padmas, lila pravishta Paramahamsa, Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Siddhar Deva Goswami Maharaj. Paramahamsa Srimad Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji Maharaj, as none different from both of them. Paramahamsa Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ji, Paramahamsa Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ji, Paramahamsa Srimad Bhakti Dvaita Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ji, and all our Paramahamsa Srimad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj Ji, and all our Guru Varga, and humbly praying for their divine grace, benevolent grace, causeless mercy, be bestowed upon me, upon all of you. Invocation of the grace of our Guru Varga and divine couple Panchatattva Gaurhari is very much necessary and beneficial in the beginning, to make the auspicious beginning of all Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, Radha Krishna Katha, Gaura Katha. All glories to all our Guru Varga, all Vaishnava Vrinda. All glories to the assembled devotees. My loving regards to all of you, good-hearted assembled devotees. Our near and dear spiritual family, devotional family of Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu. See, although it may be, may not be. Some of you may not directly know me, or myself directly know you, myself don't directly know you, okay? Some of you, yet, in fact, we already know each other from the level of our soul, from the plane of our soul, super soul. When we can discover, we can be discovering our eternal, beautiful relationship between each other in relation to, through the connection of divine couple Mahaprabhu, and discovering that relation from the soul, our plane of heart and soul. We are all known to each other. Srinnantu Vishvi Amritasya Putra. Ultimately, we are all children, sons and daughters of the Supreme Absolute Divine Truth. Supreme Absolute Beautiful Divine Truth. Nectarine Truth. And in our Swarupa vision, in our eternal, from the vision of our eternal ambrosial divine identity in relation to the divine couple. We are all children of the Supreme Absolute Nectarine Divine Truth. By beloved name called as Krishna, called as Srimati Radhika. The same Supreme Nectarine Divine Truth, Absolute Divine Truth, called by beloved names as Krishna, Govinda, Madhav. In female version, Srimati Radhika, Radha Thakurani, Swamini, Swayam Rupa Devi, Ladini. So in this way, Madana Mohana Mohini, Govinda Nandini, Madhava Mohini, Sri Radha Nath Gopi. I mean, so in this way, Goddess Srimati Radhika we call. So also one of the beautiful names of Srimati Radhika is also Brajeshwari, Queen of Braja, transcendental Braja. So Govindanandini Brajeshwari, Swayamrupa, Swami, Radha Thakurani. Beautiful names. So, so from the eternal plane of perfection, from the plane of perfection, from the plane of our Sarupa level realization, that of from the stand, from the plane of our eternal divine identity, in relation to the supreme absolute divine truth. We are all related with each other, siblings. Only our some limited relative conceptions of identification just makes us different, makes us identify in different relative way, temporary mundane ways. Why I am saying this in the beginning? That we should be feeling while sitting in the assembly of wonderful Krishna Katha, Radha Krishna Katha, Hari Katha. We should be feeling about that reality that we are all near and dear family members. We should feel affectionately related to each other as near and dear family members in connection with Radha Krishna. Because we are all devotees. We are all devotees. At least trying to be devotee according to our capacity, according to our capability. But we should hope to be thinking about us, we are sincere. We should hope that. We are sincere, true to ourselves in this regard. Gaur Hari Gaur. Again, the nature of Radha Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, nature of speaking, chanting, narrating the glories, singing the glories about the Supreme Absolute Divine Lord, Absolute Good, Absolute Truth. This is simply infinite. So I would like to invite some questions, some relevant questions, so that I can speak my Harikatha answering those relevant questions by the devotees. You have some question, you said? Want to bless?
Oui, tout à l'heure, en fait, Jivadasi parlait avec Maharaj du départ de Krishna sur Terre, lorsque le chasseur en fait, avait tiré une flèche sur le monde. Et je voulais savoir, en accord avec les Écritures, comment, dans quelles circonstances est arrivé Krishna, comment le corps de Krishna a disparu. Ça m'intrigue en fait depuis longtemps, cette histoire de chasseur, comment est-ce que Krishna a disparu en fait, comment le corps a disparu. Et il y a aussi, à la fin autre chose, j'ai entendu une histoire aussi en Inde, que lorsqu'ils ont brûlé le corps de Krishna, ils ont eu une sorte de cristal qui s'est resté. ils auraient mis cette pierre dans la montée de Jagannath. Alors je voulais savoir qu'est-ce qu'il en pensait de ce genre d'histoire.
I asked him to place his question in the first place because you were asking me upstairs. So he was already asking, I said, ask me downstairs. Yes,
So one thing has always been puzzled him. That puzzled him is the disappearance of Krishna in Dwarka and like that when he got
appearance of Krishna in Dwarka.
the disappearance.
Disappearance.
Krishna
Disappearance
in
of Krishna
Dwarka
in
when he
Dwarka.
got shoot in the feet. And did they? What happened? Did he burn the body? Because there's so many stories about that, or that they would have burned sometimes the body, and then a crystal will come out, and they put that in a Jagannath. There's so many things like that. So he would like to hear about.
Good question. Good question, and yes, there should be no confusion about this in the mind of devotees, because in fact there is no real place of having any confusion about this, ambiguity about this, because I mean, with the lights of the proper Siddhanta, while we receive the lights of the proper knowledge about it, lights of the wisdom of the proper Siddhanta about it, there will be no confusion. You translate? You understand?
Yes,
You can understand.
Okay, sure. See, certain portions of Krishna lila, Radha Krishna lila, okay, now here particularly Krishna lila. So certain portions and aspects of the Krishna lila is to be understood in a mystically wonderful way instead of straight cut black and white manner. It doesn't work that way. Because the very nature, one of the essential characteristics of all Krishna lila is that of transcendental nature. Okay, I repeat. We have to understand and try to realize this truth, this basic fundamental truth in the first place, that the very nature of Krishna lila is of transcendental character. So, transcendental means transcendental. It cannot be understood in ordinary, normal, humanoid way. But it has to be understood and realized in transcendental sense, to transcendental knowledge, what we don't have on this plane. Because we have just ordinary material knowledge. The kind, the quality, the type of knowledge we have on this mundane plane of limitations, limited experiences, okay, realization, it's just mundane knowledge. It's so limited. So, but transcendental things, all the transcendental truths and happenings must be understood and realized in transcendental way. So, we must not be trying to judging it, understanding it through our limited humanoid conceptualizations, ordinary human conceptions. Then we'll be misguided. Then all confusion will come. So all the confusions or paradoxical conception comes due to our limited knowledge. Due to the limited knowledge or limited ways of understanding. But as soon as we have the holistic picture, at least relatively holistic picture about the transcendental truth, transcendental Krishna lila, as it is, in its own transcendental characteristic, with its own transcendental characteristic, then there will be no ambiguity or no confusion. So now, this has been explained, I repeat, this has been already explained by several holy scriptures, through several holy scriptures, and by our Guru Varga, that certain portions of Krishna lila is considered like dramatic play. It's a dramatic reality, not real reality. It's a reality, but dramatic reality. This truth has, I am not speaking this. This is what I am explaining, it's not my explanation or my interpretation. This has been explained by Mahaprabhu. The similar way this has been said, explained by Mahaprabhu, also explained by our Guru Varga. Okay. We have already extensively discussed for past 2 days. Extensively discussed about this for past 2 days, past 2 days Harikatha. If anyone wants to know more in details, can be kindly hearing our discussion, our Harikathas in the past 2 days. I'm not going to repeat all. So, again, dramatic reality doesn't mean necessarily illusory reality. It's a reality, but that of dramatic character, not really real character. We have to understand there cannot be any self-contradiction in the world of the understanding about Krishna lila. Although it looks like, it appears to be paradoxical. Certain portions of the Krishna lila appears to be paradoxical, self-contradictory. Because in one hand, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Almighty, all-powerful, all-pervading Supreme Brahma, Param Brahma, Super Soul, Supreme God. On the other hand, just dying, pierced by the arrow of some ordinary hunter. Dying, helplessly dying like that. How can it be? It's self-contradictory. So if we try to understand, if we go to understand such portions of Krishna lila, such as he was dying, pierced by the arrow launched by a hunter, or a Hiranyabad, and his arrow created poisonous effect in his holy lotus feet, and he started bleeding, and due to some poisonous effect, he had to die. He left his material body. These are all like illusory magical show. Magical reality, magical show also a reality. But it's a magical reality. Illusory reality is not real reality. Not really real. Okay. So, it has to be understood in that way. Supreme Lord, he accepted curse and he wanted to play that pastimes. As Krishna, the Lord of his own sweet will, wanted to play his pastimes in that ordinary way, due to some sort of playful commitment to other devotees at other times. Okay. So, he accepted, he manifested his play in that way. But it actually didn't happen. It cannot be understood that it factually did happen like that. Krishna had a material body and that hunter launched the arrow, it pierced through his lotus feet and he started bleeding, poisonous effect spreaded and he died. No. Cannot be understood in that way. If we understand that way, it will be a great insult. Great insult to Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only insult, it will be denying his godly character. it will simply be like denying, mocking at, contradicting Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of all, all pervading divine truth, Supreme Absolute Divine Truth. We cannot make self-contradiction. We cannot say, oh, this is so good, that's why it is so bad. We cannot say that. Can you say that? This is so good, that's why it's so bad. Because it is very bad, that's why it is very good. We cannot say that. Self-contradicting. Either we have to say it's good or bad. We cannot simply say, oh, that place is looking so luminous because I see so much darkness. Can you say that? No.
But in some way you cannot say it is not a real reality. It not mean nothing also. You said it's not a real reality, you said. But it looks like it is also what it
I
means.
say no.
Not a real reality.
Means I say dramatic reality. It is expressional way. Expressional way. I don't really mean it's not at all a reality. Never, never. So dramatic reality doesn't mean real reality. It's expressional way. Just as we say smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. Sometimes we say in a poetic sense. In order to explain the meaning of the verse, Anuroniyan Mahatu Mohiyan, we have no other way but to express in a wonderfully, apparently paradoxical way, but that's the poetic way, best poetical way. Okay, the character of Lord Krishna, character of the Supreme Absolute Divine Truth can manifest as smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. But apparently it's self-contradictory. How can something be smaller than the smallest? Contradictory, paradoxical. But we have to understand poetically. Poetically. Bigger than the biggest. How can it be? If it's biggest, then nothing can be bigger than the biggest. It's poetical way. Understood? Just as Anadi Adi Govinda, Anadi means without a beginning. Adi means a beginning. So beginning of beginninglessness. Poetic way, it is described in Brahma Samhita. Poetically described. Krishna is Anadi Adi Govinda. Krishna means Adi of the Anadi. Means the beginning of beginninglessness. How we understand that? Beginning of the beginninglessness. Sometimes we say, it's a poetic lingual way, last limit of the limitlessness. Last limit of the unlimited. Okay? We cannot take in a literal sense. Okay, Prabhu, clear? Prashant Prabhuji, clear?
Yeah.
In a poetic way.
I'm listening.
Okay, so I appreciate that you brought out that point, that in case it could have created misunderstanding when I say real, not real reality. So if it was misunderstood, there's some scope of misunderstanding in a sense, it's not at all a reality. I didn't mean in that sense. So it is clarified. It is reality of different character. Different character. So, sometimes we look at the same reality from different angles. Now, I'm explaining in the lives of... Okay. Now I'm explaining about the same topic, same Siddhanta, from different angles, in different lights. Often we connect to certain realities. We view certain realities in our life from different angles. We call angle of vision. Okay? So when we are looking at things, we are viewing at a thing from one angle, and when we are looking at the same thing from another angle, although we are looking at the same thing, but we are looking slightly different from each other, isn't it? We are looking at the same truth, same reality, okay, but all that angle of visions are not exactly similar. Not exactly same. All are realities at the same time. But what I am experiencing while I am looking at one thing from one angle, how I am looking at this, how I am experiencing its vision from one certain angle, I am not experiencing the very same from another angle. Different. It's different. I cannot say it is same reality as that. Both are not exactly same realities, but similar realities, different realities. So from the stand of one angle of viewing a truth, another angle of the viewing the same truth will be considered different. One who is situated to see a truth from one particular angle, he will say, oh, truth is this. Not that what you are describing, truth is that. But to him, another person who is looking at the same truth from another angle, saying, no, truth is this, not that what you are saying. So this kind of apparent contradiction or controversy can go on. Okay? So, but actually and factually, all angles of the visions about the same truth are real, are truth. Not that one is correct, one is wrong. Not that one is real, another is false. Not that one is very right, another is wrong. No. But from one stand of vision, from one angle of vision of the same truth, other angle of vision of the same truth may be felt as, no, that's not correct. That's not the real truth. The way I am looking at is different. I believe in what I am seeing. Can say, I believe in what I am directly seeing and experiencing. How can I deny? This is the truth. But what he is saying, I don't know anything about. So it may be or may not be reality to me. Although he is not accepting the other angle of vision as reality to him because he has not experienced yet. Yet that is also truth. And the same thing can be vice versa. The other person looking at the same truth from different angle may not accept other angle of vision of the same truth because he has not seen that. He is not seeing the truth in the same way. So it is caused by the relative limitations of the viewing. Okay? But from the absolute holistic vision, of the same truth, all angles of the vision and experience of the same truth will be recognized. All are true. All are realities from different angles of visions. Okay? In the relational field, suppose I can give you some mundane examples just to have some idea about, getting an idea about. Mundane examples cannot be completely explanatory, cannot be fully explanatory about the transcendental realities, but it can give us some idea to us. In the field of relations, same person is father or mother to someone. Same person is father, brother, okay, and husband, friend to somebody. Same person is mother, okay, child, wife, sister, and many other ways. Okay, but it's the same person we are relating to from different stands of our relationship. All the fields of all the aspects of relationship are true. They are very true, but from their own stand, from their own levels, relative planes. But say the son and daughter who is relating to his or her mother. Son and daughter cannot consider mother as wife. Okay? It's not real relation. It's not reality. Unless any perversion comes, it's not a reality. Okay? So, same person, a son and daughter relating to some person as father. The father cannot be considered like brother or sister. cannot be considered as children of the son or daughter, children of the children. Father is father. Same father is father as well as husband, as well as brother to someone, as well as great friend or boss to someone. So all same applies to the mother. So all aspects of the relationships are coexistent. They are all true. But one is not true for the other, who is having a relative position. Because we are not having absolute position here. We are all bound by some relativities. We are here on this mundane plane of limitations. We are all bound by certain limitations of relative conceptions of everything. So, some particular aspect of the relationship, I repeat, so some particular aspect of the relationship between or among persons are true to a particular individual, which is not really true like that to another individual. In relation to another individual, because another individual relates to the same person differently, with different relations, different conceptions of relation. From the holistic picture, they are all true. From different levels, different dynamics, different aspects of relationship.
But you are speaking about race. Different persons see differently. But we are speaking about tattva. Tattva, the scriptures are there. So where is your example of different angles? Because to avoid that different angle is given, Shastra is there. So that the truth is given in absolute way. Then different lesson by rasa can see, but the truth is explaining Shastra. So I don't follow your example of different angle of vision.
I also don't follow what you are saying here in this regard, because here I am talking about Krishna's dying. The context is how Krishna was dying, pierced by the arrow.
Yes.
That portion of lila. I am not talking here about the Braja lila and Rasa.
No, yeah.
But I am coming to his point. That is my context now, okay? So I am not directly talking about the Braja lila character.
No, I don't speak about Rasa Lila.
No.
Different persons see one father differently because he's brother.
Because here, from the material stand, material people think Krishna was actually dead, pierced by the arrows launched by the hunter. They believe. They think that happened. That's a reality. Because they don't believe in Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. They believe in Krishna to be like superhuman being, extraordinary human being with much power. So, but although he was a powerful human being, but ultimately he was a human being, look, he died. He died in this way. That is a angle of vision of the material people. In that connection, I'm explaining all this. But what is true from a material stand of the vision, okay, that Krishna actually left the material body being pierced through the arrow launched by the Hiranyabadha. That is true to them, but it's not true to us. We, the higher spiritualists, devotees. That's what I'm... Okay, clear?
Yeah, but that's why we don't care about what they feel. We don't care about what they feel. We care about the Shastra telling. We care about the Shastra telling that it is a plain.
Of course, we the devotees don't care, but he asked me a question also on behalf of the social people also. People in the society, material people, so I have a duty to answer that part so that it doesn't seem to be paradoxical. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so the way you are taking it, I am not actually relating to the fact in the same way as you are meaning it. Okay, is it clear to you now? I am now answering to him, okay, also answering to the material people, how they relate to Krishna. That's why I am explaining about all this. Okay, so from how it is seen from a mortal material, limited material angle of vision by the material people. Okay? It is not actually true. It is a dramatic reality. Now do you understand, Prabhuji? Why I am saying dramatic?
No, I don't understand.
Not at all?
I really tell you, I don't understand.
Okay, when Mahaprabhu
Not only I
says,
don't understand, but I don't accept. But
I don't
first I don't
understand that.
understand, so try to explain it. I'm listening.
okay, when Mahaprabhu said,
Peut-être tu pourrais
when Mahaprabhu said,
Ah ben, il pose question, il dit poser des questions.
Écoutez,
Poser des questions.
okay, I am humbly asking you,
Il répond à une question.
Tu peux écouter ou tu veux faire la place?
I am humbly asking you, when Mahaprabhu said to that Vipra, to that Brahmana, actually Ravana kidnapped Maya Sita, illusory Sita, literally. Mahaprabhu said that, quoting from Kurma Purana. He brought to the Brahmin and Brahmin became so relieved to know that Ravana did not kidnap the real Sita, but it was an illusory copy of the Sita, but Ravana could not touch the real Sita. Mahaprabhu himself explained, Brahmana accepted, and Mahaprabhu accepted that. But actually in Ramayana, it is not really described in state called Ramayana that Ravana kidnapped the illusory Sita. It is described Ravana kidnapped the real Sita. So when Mahaprabhu said that, would you accept that? When Mahaprabhu himself is saying that, I am not saying this in my own, through my own speculation. It is what is said by Mahaprabhu. What is explained by Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya himself. Even Vishwanath Chakravarti, you are reading yesterday, even Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad also mentioned in his Tika that when Krishna was found to be pierced through by the arrow of the Jara Vyadha, it was illusory. Presented. Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad also making that in comment. So what would you say? You want to accept Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's way of expression? You want to accept Mahaprabhu's way of expression, explanation? I am humbly asking you. Same thing I am repeating. Same Siddhanta I am just repeating. Okay. I am not creating anything new or creating from my own speculation. Simply telling and promoting the same Siddhanta spoken by Mahaprabhu, by Vishwanath Chakravarti Pala, explained by our Guru Bhargava. Okay? So please try to realize my humble request.
Maharaj, just to know that this is illusory form of Krishna, this is very easy to understand. That this Krishna is illusory.
Yes, that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also mentions in his commentary. And Prabhuji was also reading that yesterday. And some questions came out. Okay. But at that time, Krishna manifested illusory form. But it is a form of Krishna.
Yes.
It is also a reality, but illusory reality, like magical show. Magical show is also a reality, but illusory reality. It's not really real. When I poetically say not really real, I don't mean it's not at all a reality. I never mean that. It is a reality, but not objectively real.
Like magician.
Like magical realities. But everybody enjoying magic, so that is also a concept of reality. It's not that it is zero, it is nothing. I don't mean that. I don't mean, when I say not real reality, I don't mean that in a sense, oh, it is nothing, totally false. No. It's a magical reality. Poetically, I am saying it's not a real reality. Meaning not objective reality. It's a, how to say, imaginary kind of imaginary reality. Yes. And even Guru Bhargava also explained, my Guru Maharaj also explained nicely, that when Jara Vyadha launched the arrows and it pierced to Krishna's holy feet, it started bleeding. Holy feet started bleeding. Like material body, because one of the fundamental natures, one of the essential natures of Krishna lila, Naro lila, looking like human activity but not human, is of transcendental character. It is called prakito bhat, not of prakitam aprakritam. Prakito bhat means it's looking similar to like normal, mundane human ways. Okay? But not of prakitam Aprakitam. Aprakitam means transcendental, divine. Although it's looking similar to the human ways of the activities, like that, and because it's the nature, nature of the lila is Naro lila, but actually, factually, it is of transcendental character. Never misunderstand it as like really human type of activity. Then you will be totally misguided. You have to understand the tattva, it is of transcendental character. Although looking similar like this. In this way. Guru Bhargava gave explanation like fake gold and real gold. Fake diamond, real diamond. Both are looking similar. If someone doesn't understand very well, if someone doesn't know how to differentiate between fake gold, real gold, not expert, if somebody is not expert, he will think, oh, both are same. Both are same gold. Both are same diamond. But only the experts can differentiate. In a properly qualified way, the experts can differentiate about between their real identity. One is fake gold, another is real gold. One is fake diamond, another is real diamond, although they are looking similar. The similar way, Krishna lila is the real gold. Krishna lila is real diamond. Not unlike the fake gold, fake diamond, what is found on the mundane plane, as mundane activity. Okay? So our Guru Bhargava explains. We see the bleeding happen, bleeding started from Krishna's feet. These are all illusory, magical reality, dramatic reality. So it's not actually happening because Krishna had transcendental body. Krishna doesn't have human body. Everything. Krishna doesn't have any difference between body and his soul. Okay, he is the Supreme Lord, he is the super soul. All our soul, concept of soul and super, all coming from Krishna. So there is no real difference in his body and soul. Never. Then it will be contradictory, completely contradictory. Krishna's body, mind, soul, all same reality. Same reality. Akhandam. Cannot be differentiated like we differentiate in case of us, human ways. So, back to the point. So it was a big show. Not actual reality show. It was a big show. Dramatic show. We also enjoy a movie a lot. While we start seeing a movie, seeing a drama, we enjoy it a lot. Because we consider it's not dramatic reality, it's really happening. If every time we continue to think, oh, it's acting, false, we cannot enjoy a drama. But we take it. While we are watching a drama, we take it as if real, as if really happening. And that's how we relate, we enjoy it. So it is some kind of reality, but dramatic reality. But it's not real reality in that sense. I already explained, someone playing the role of a villain in a drama. But in fact, that villain who is playing the role of a villain can be a very good person in his real life. In his real life, someone playing the role of a villain in a drama can be a very good person. Someone playing the role of a dead person. But in fact, he is not really dead. Okay, looking like that. Okay. In the drama we see some people dressed up as a big doctor and doing surgery in the operation theater. Are they real doctors? If they are really taken to the real operation theater, they cannot do anything. They'll start trembling, fearful, because they are not real doctors. But they are looking like real doctors, the way they are acting, realistic acting. As a real doctor doing the real surgery in a movie, in a drama. So that's a reality. But what kind of reality? Dramatic reality about that person, because he's not really real doctor. Dramatically real doctor. And we also accept it as a reality, as dramatic reality, because we also enjoy it. It's something to enjoy. So, a similar way to understand. Okay, So, I hope your question is answered. So therefore, it's not confusing. It's not confusing at all, because a real person, while playing different roles in a drama, when one understands, it's all dramatic plays, dramatic reality, not actual reality. No confusion. They understand, oh, this part is dramatic reality and this part is real reality. Okay, actual reality. So it's the manifestation of the same person in two ways. One is in its real life. One aspect of manifestation is real life, normal life. Another aspect of that person is while he's playing different roles, different characters in the drama. Although the same person is changing his character while playing different roles in the different drama. Same person, same hero, heroine, playing different characters in different movies, but the same person. Okay? So the same person is being identified in different dramatic realities, 1, 2, 3, several, so many. But they're all dramatic realities. But apart from that, he has got a real life, as a real person with his own real identity. Okay, so all are realities of different characters, of different levels, different dynamics. So, yeah, different dynamics, different aspects. But again, mundane reality, the mundane show of the reality of Krishna lila cannot be compared with his actual transcendental manifestation, transcendental identity. That is tattva. That has to be understood. So when we understand the whole picture, when we can understand and comprehend, at least relatively comprehend, conceive of the whole picture of the reality, then there will be no ambiguity, there will be no confusion. Knowing one is actual, a real reality, and another one illusory, magical reality, dramatic reality. Okay, manifested by the same Lord at His sweet will. He wanted to have that play. That's why it happened. He is the Lord of His own sweet will. We cannot say, why did you manifest yourself in that way? You should have stayed. You should have always stayed and manifested as Supreme Personality of Godhead with all almightiness and almightiness, all powerful character. Oh Lord, why should you come down to play this kind of ordinary human activities on the mundane plane? You should not have done that. You should have always stayed. Maintain yourself, your highest standard as the supreme absolute divine truth of infinite power, of fully transcendental characteristics. We cannot say that to Krishna. Krishna is the Lord of sweet will. He wanted to exhibit that soul. That's why we saw that. Because Krishna wanted to show that, therefore we saw it. So, factually, no ambiguity, no confusion. Clear?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. It will be really confusing if both aspects would be really real. Then it would be very confusing. In one hand, we realize the Krishna as Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the Supreme personification of all power, knowledge, beauty and bliss, all pervading Param Brahma, super power. On the other hand, it's the material ordinary human being, dying, caused by being pierced by the arrows of a hunter. Same Lord Krishna took so many arrows in the Kurukshetra war field. Yes. many more arrows on his own body. Nothing happened. Here only, he pierced by only one arrow, he died. It is also real, if we consider both as the reality of the same category, same way, then it will be self-contradictory. it will be very confusing. Okay? Then only it will be confusing because it becomes self-contradictory. But when we know the whole picture as it is, the both aspects as they are, no contradiction. Because that was a play. One is really real, another is playfully real. Playfully real, dramatically real. Clear? Okay. No more about this issue.
Some Greek,
Achilles.
in the Greek history, they are comparing some Greek, some Greek experts. People were like, they're comparing Krishna to a child, Achilles.
Child?
Achilles.
Achilles.
Achilles is the name.
How do you say in English?
Achilles is the name.
Achilles.
Name of the person.
They compare Krishna to Achilles in that
Homer. Odyssey of
from Homer. The Odyssey of Homer in this.
Amorous.
Yeah.
Amorous. Okay.
So they're comparing Krishna to Achilles because he was also.
Achilles means what exactly?
That I'm coming to. That warrior.
Yes.
He was a big warrior also, because they saw that Krishna was big warrior on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, some or another. And then they compare also to Achilles because he was very powerful like that. And at the end, he died because Paris, another guy called Paris, like the town, he threw an arrow on his foot also. And in that way, he died. So because it's similar, so they are connecting the two characters, that they are the same, and therefore so many think that due to this, some philosopher or theologian, because they present like that, so they think that Krishna also, then it's normal that even he was so great and everything, he died also in the same way. They make that connection. Some presentation of even Bhagavad Gita, one in the preface, then one present this character like this, that Arjuna and Krishna, and compared to the Achilles and another guy like this, and they make the comparison, maybe poetic way, but in a way they understood only, like you say, the unreal reality or something, or they speculate in one world. So there is this concept in the West that because there's similarity, so they think that they're the same people,
So relating, okay, so relating to what you are saying, see, such type of conceptions are born from the limited mundane concepts of Krishna. Okay, so it has some truth, it contains some truth from their plane of understanding, limited range of understanding. Okay. I tell you something, our range of perception is so limited. If this light becomes too much, I can't see. If light becomes too low, I can't see. I can only see in the middle, within a range, I can see the light. We cannot see. So we cannot hear ultrasonic sound. We can neither hear ultrasonic sound nor subsonic sound. We can only hear certain range of the sound, portion of the sound, what our ear is in tune with. Qualified, our ear is in tune with certain frequency, certain range of the frequencies of the sound. That portion only we can hear. We cannot hear ultrasonic sound or subsonic sound, neither above nor below. Similarly, in regard to the lights, the science, when the light becomes too much, it becomes so dazzling to our eyes. We cannot see sun. We cannot be, when we continue to look at, so for example, when we start looking at the sun, we cannot continue to look at sun for a long time. At some point we'll see nothing. Although so much sunlight coming to my eyes, but I see darkness. Okay, this is dazzling, much more than my capacity of seeing. In spite of the presence of so much light, I see darkness. Also, when the light becomes too low, I see darkness. But to many other animals, it's not dark, it's a low light for, there's enough light for many animals. They can see through the same low light, okay, or in other words, they can see very well. Many animals can see very well through the darkness, which we cannot see through. Because darkness is not really darkness to them. There's sufficient light for them to see. Okay? Even in this today's scientific technology, there is night vision camera. They can take all the photos in the darkness. What our eyes cannot see through, but camera can take photo. Through night vision camera. So these are all relative things. All relative, so much. So why I'm giving all these examples? So the capacity of our perception, even the capacity not only of our perception, of our knowledge, conceptual ability, very limited within a certain range. We cannot understand or directly understand, experience anything above it or below it or outside of it. It's so limited within a range. So, when human beings are going to judge about Krishna's activity, they are judging it according to their range of perception, according to the range of their ability of their experience. They cannot go beyond it. They cannot transcend that because they don't have such experience. Okay? So that is true to them from the material platform, material dynamic. It is true to them because that's how they realize. That's how they think. So it's a part of the truth. It's not totally false what the material people thinking Krishna is superhuman. Krishna is powerful human being, but he had to die ultimately. It is a relatively partial truth. It's not like zero, empty, nothing. It's not that nothing. It is something, but of limited conception. Okay, it's not an absolute conception of the Krishna's activity. Partial concept of a reality and the absolute conception of the reality, two are different. Although partial conception of the reality can be included, accommodated somewhere in the holistic picture of the reality, yet a partly concept of the reality cannot make it up as concept of the absolute reality, absolute conception. Then if both of them would be same, then there will be no difference between relative and absolute. There will be no difference between limit and infinite. Finite and infinite, there will be no difference. Okay? There will be no difference between good and bad, positive and negative, darkness and light, science and disscience, ignorance and knowledge. There will be no difference if they are same. They are not same. They are realities of different type. So, realities, not denying they are not realities. They are realities of different dynamics. So, there are mundane realities, realities of mundane aspect, realities of transcendental aspect. Mundane realities, transcendental realities. Suppose, I give you an example. There is a saying, philosopher's stone. Ordinary person will pick up a stone. An ordinary person walking on the road picking up a stone. Saying, oh, it's a stone, thrown away. To him, it's a stone, I have already seen, thrown away. But when a philosopher is looking at the same stone, or when a scientist, like a geologist,
Achilles.
exactly. So, how do you call geologist and bhutattvavin? I'm forgetting. Those who deal with the earthly science.
Yeah.
Not exactly geologist, another.
No,
Geologist.
Dealing with the earth.
Gémoliste. Je sais pas en anglais, je sais pas.
Dealing with the earthly.
yeah.
Earthly science, sorry. So, when that scientist will look at that stone, it's not just a simple stone. Immediately that scientist starts analyzing the stone's texture, inner texture and type, what kind of chemicals it is made of, what texture it has got, that what kind of chemical effects or medicinal effects it can have, okay, what quality it has got. So, that stone is not just an ordinary stone to that scientist.
Anthropologist?
Anthropologist? No. Geologist? Gemologist who are expert about the stones, who deal with the earthly things.
Yeah.
This is some particular name. So, now, a stone in the hand of an ordinary man, a stone in the hand of a philosopher or scientist, not the same stone, although it looks like the same stone, same reality, but the way both are conceiving the same, so different from each other.
Different value.
Exact, different value, different reality, different experience of different dimensions of the reality. Everybody didn't experience about universal law like Einstein did. But it doesn't mean, what ordinary people think in an ordinary way, that is right, Einstein, what Einstein realized and ordinary people realize, both are same. Not that. Both are reality, but of different dynamics. One of higher dynamics, much higher, greater dynamics. Other one is of that of lower, comparatively lower dynamics of the reality. Okay, lower, the conception of the lower dynamics of the reality. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so when the material people, as you gave the example of Greek people, they try to connect with Krishna, that particular activity of Krishna in that way. It's a very limited, mundane concept of Krishna's play without any idea of what transcendental characteristics Krishna lila is. Without any clue. Because they don't know. Since they don't know, we cannot accuse them. We cannot tell them why you don't know. You don't know. That's their limitation. That's the range of capacity, that's the limitation. So they perceive a thing the way they can understand, the way they are capable of understanding. But they cannot perceive about a reality beyond their understanding. But other persons of higher wisdom, higher transcendental wisdom can realize about the reality more transcendental, super excellent ways. What these mundane people cannot relate with. Like what big scientists can realize, ordinary people cannot. The same thing. See, an atom. See, we are just picking up one atom. To us, ordinarily, it is just a dust, a particle of dust. Nothing. But to a scientist, it can be a big world of so much knowledge, how that atom is working. But apparently it's just so small. Just a dust, particle of dust, I have seen, nothing but that. Ordinarily people think, I have seen it. It's like that. See, every day we are looking at the sun, looking at the moon, looking at the river, looking at the ocean, looking at the mountain, even looking at ourselves by living life. Some portion is just done in very ordinary way. Nothing but that. But other aspects, discovery, with newer and newer discovery and exploration about my own body, my own existence, my own life, about what I look from, they become wonderstruck with newer and newer discovery of the truth inside. You know what happens, like vice versa psychology. The fishermen who every day are engaged in fishing in the ocean, they cannot really enjoy, they often cannot enjoy the beauty, majestic beauty of the ocean, because it is a normal thing. It becomes so ordinary. Every day they're waking up, they're seeing, it's their business to go inside the ocean, okay, and to be fishing. Ocean is ocean, wave, nothing. But another person who is not coming from that background, coming to the ocean and standing before the ocean, can relish the oceanic, majestic oceanic beauty so much. Its wave, its vastness, its vast, magnificent, majestic beauty. Oh, wonderful creation of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Creator in the form of ocean. Similarly, looking at the Himalayas, oh, it is majestic, magnanimous, majestic, magnificent beauty. So the great poets or other persons, similar persons, can relish the beauty so much. Majestic beauty of the Himalayas, majestic vast beauty of the ocean. They can relish so much to look at sunrise and sunset in the ocean. But to many people, ordinary people who are always living there and got used to it, like brain dead to them, all this thing, brain dead to them, too ordinary, they feel nothing. They feel nothing. Oh, I have seen. Oh, ocean every day I have seen. What is more with that? It's just so much water, some waves, some salty water. What is all important to them is fishing, business. They become so delighted to accumulate some fishes, great happiness. They don't derive so much happiness by looking at the ocean. In connection with the ocean, tasting vast, majestic beauty and some mystical, wonderful nature of the ocean, they don't relate to all this. It's nothing of their business. Their business to get some fishes, that brings some joy. And if they don't get fishes, it makes them sad. What's the difference? The same universe, the same world, the way a great poet relates to, a great poet can connect to it with poetic vision. Ordinary people cannot do it. Same melodious music. A great musician can relish so much from a musical melody. Whereas other person, the same similar human being, you cannot relate with the same taste. Cannot relish the same musical melody in the same way. See, both are realities. Those who live in Himalayas, those who are inhabitant of the Himalayas, every day they are living, every day waking up, every day seeing that mountain, it's nothing to them. But when the tourists are coming, tourists go from far to be in the Himalayas, look at the Himalayas, you taste so much its majestic beauty. Magnificent, majestic beauty. You feel some spiritual experience in the form of the Himalayas, in the form of the ocean. But those who are living in cannot feel that, so much limited. It's the same thing, like our Guru Varga gave example. Sometimes a frog lives just under a lotus. Frog. I am giving this example not to undermine or not to depreciate the frog, but just for comparative study, comparative explanation. I am giving example. A frog just living very close, just under the lotus, but can never taste the honey. But the bees, bumblebees and all the bees are flying from far, sitting on the lotus, collecting the honey and tasting the honey. They are coming from so far and tasting the real honey. Means they are actually relating to the better aspect, most special and better aspect of the lotus, better portion of the identity of the lotus. how tasting is honey. Okay. Of course, they cannot smell the appreciate fragrance or but they can taste the honey. They know. So coming from the far, they are coming, collecting the honey, going back. They are getting so enriched with the wealth, with the nectarine wealth of the lotus, collecting honey. Whereas the frog, living so close, so near to the lotus, cannot get the taste. So, the concept of the frog in relation to the lotus is also a reality. Okay, remaining very close, also sometimes touching the lotus, it also has a conception how lotus is. But its conception and the conception of the honeybees who are collecting, who are coming from the far, flying from the far and sitting on the, going inside and collecting the honey, flower, nectar, going back. Both of their conceptions about the lotus not same. The way you relate to me as human being, you relate to me as some person, personality. When an ant is moving on my body, and moving on my body, walking on my body, that ant cannot relate to me in the same way as you can relate with me. Ant can also relate with me, walking on the same body, but it can relate, it can only experience in an ant-like way, limited ant-like way, not more than that. A mosquito also relating with me, but it will be looking for some food, some pimples and food, something buttery, okay, or blood. It is interested. It is also relating to me, my body. Is it actually relating to me like a human being relates to another human being? No. Both have conception of reality. Mosquito and even the other bacteria and virus living in our body also have some understanding of the reality of my body and existence, but limited according to their range. They cannot go beyond. But as a human being can relate to another human being, they cannot do it the same way. But both are realities. Okay, but two different kinds of realities. Okay, one is more limited, another more open, another more, broader. Another conception of reality is from the very broader perspective. Broader perspective. And one portion of reality is so limited, relatively limited. And other one, compared to that limited reality concept, very broad spectrum reality. Then what to speak more of understanding Krishna lila? Therefore I am giving all these examples. Okay? Little examples for clarification. Yes, please.
So this analogy actually, that for example the fisherman is going on the ocean, then he cannot appreciate the ocean because he's...
Most of the time. Sometimes some can be exceptional, but mostly.
Yeah. So therefore there are some poets who are describing the ocean and in such a beautiful way that when one day he goes to library and see this book on ocean and everything, he will be attracted and say, oh, how is it beautifully described. So the same way, acharyas like this, they are also writing books. So therefore that the people who have someone or another understood, heard about Krishna, the thing, and they said, oh, maybe more explanation on that, then they may reach.
Exactly so. Therefore the acharyas felt the necessity of writing commentary, writing more commentaries and purpose. Otherwise, what would be the real utility of all those wise commentaries and purport? Okay? Because if everything of Krishna lila would be simply understood in a very simplified, normal, humanoid way, mundane way, then acharyas would not have felt the necessity of writing some wonderful commentaries and purport. The necessity for them to write wonderful commentaries and purport to enlighten us more. Transcendental way, what we cannot normally understand due to our limited capacity. Limited capacity, limited ways of perception. or experience. That's how the commentaries, beautiful commentaries and purpose appeared. Not one or two times, that appeared in many ways, many times manifested by different acharyas. They felt the need, to give us clarified understanding. They felt the need, they kindly felt the need, great need of clearing up our confusion and enlighten us with the higher knowledge, higher wisdom. That's why, therefore, those commentary and purpose are so valuable. We need to be understanding the meanings of the verses through the lights of the commentary, of the purport. Therefore, they are there. We can also directly understand, the meaning directly in relation to the verse, I repeat. We can also understand the meaning of certain verses in a direct way when it's not clear enough, it's not good enough, or it's not enough at all due to my limited capacity of understanding. Then we should see the meanings of the same verse through lights of commentary, through the lights of purport. Then we realize better, to the best. That's why the commentaries and purports are manifested by the different realized acharyas. Again, sometimes this is another wonderful reality. All the commentaries, all the purports written by all different acharyas of different rasa and qualifications may not be same. Again, it may not be exactly same. There are also of different mellows, different taste, different dimensions, but all are true. All are realities from different angle of visions, coming back to the same point what I was explaining in the beginning. Different angle of visions. So different great acharyas, they are all realized Guru Varga. All of them are realized Guru Varga. They often related the same reality of the Siddhanta from different angles and gave us different purpose, different commentaries. All are manifesting with their wonderful beauty and characteristics, with their dynamic, different kinds of dynamic beauties and characters. So, even in the field of purpose and commentaries, sometimes some of our Guru Varga apparently differ from each other, not realistically differing, appearing to be differing from each other due to their some distinction of the tastes, levels of different tastes, rasadhikar, the taste of the Siddhanta, views and rasa mellows of love of Krishna.
Samadhi Bhashya. Samadhi Bhashya, like Yasadev. Samadhi Bhashya means by his own realization, so they have all our acharya different realization, then they are sharing with us.
And all these different kinds of purpose and commentaries are actually enriching our world of devotional experience. Instead of contradicting or fighting why they should be different. No, they are rather bringing the beauty of variegatedness, harmonious beauty. When we talk about the conception of the harmonious beauty, it is like a musical concert, not one or two musical instrument, or not just one or two musical player. So many expert musicians are there with so many musical instruments, but they are all flowing in harmony. One harmonious concert. It becomes so wonderful. In a similar way, when we find several Guru Vargas, several acharyas, manifested their own realization around the meanings around the Siddhanta of the same verse, around the meanings of the same verse, it rather enriches the Siddhanta, world of the Siddhanta. It rather enriches the world of the meaning of that verse with variegated ways, versatile characters, with versatile aspects of beauty and wonders, like harmonious musical concert. No conflicting differences. Unity in total unity in diversity. Never diversity in diversity. It's a complete unity in diversity, creating variegated beauty, variegated, multifarious, variegated ways of the beauty and wonders of the Supreme Infinite Absolute Lord. Okay? In different ways, through different aspects, dimensions, different tastes. So it enriches. So we cannot question why all these Guru Varga are writing commentary different from each other. Why they cannot be one. Why they cannot have only one opinion. One for all. We cannot say that. Because the truth is that all the Guru Varga sometimes, not all the time, sometimes presenting the different commentaries around the meanings of the same verse according to their qualifications, according to their tastes. Also sharing so much common ground among them. So that is something common, it's the same. Something common, something in particular, both ways manifesting. So not that our Guru Varga are not becoming one with each other. They are also becoming one when they are sharing the same common ground of the Siddhanta, of the meaning of the same verse. They are one. They are at one with each other. But in that oneness, being situated in that oneness, they are also relating to different parts of the Siddhanta, slightly different from each other, distinct from. Yes? Yes.
Right.
Distinct from each other. Again, Achinta Bhedabhed. It's the example of simultaneous oneness and distinction which is inconceivable. Mahaprabhu said, it has to be understood through the principle of Siddhanta Achinta Bhedabhed. That of inconceivable simultaneous oneness and distinctive characters. I repeat, it's that of inconceivably simultaneous one and distinctive character. Both are true at the same time, in harmony. So, although we find so many musicians with so many musical instruments in a big, huge musical concert, but when they're playing the music, playing in such a harmony, it enriches, it presents to us a very beautiful and melodious concert. They are not conflicting with each other, rather flowing through wonderful, harmonious union, flowing through wonderful, harmonious unity in a concert. Same way, similar way, we have to understand the different kinds of commentaries and purports presented by our Guru Varga. Okay, although they are apparently looking different from each other, distinct from each other, but in the absolute, in the place, in the field, how to say, it's a lingual limitation, I have to say field or stand or way, but it's neither of them. In the absolute sense, again, it's not a sense. It's not a way, but I have to say some way. So from the absolute stand, okay, all variegatedness, their differences are contributing to each other, complementing each other, creating a total harmonious concert. Yes? Harmony, total harmony. So that's how we have to understand. That's the common ground. Now, okay. All right.
Srimad Bhakti Nandan Swami ki
All glories to all our great, excellent Guru Varga ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Jai Bhakti Vedanta Parvat Maharaj ki jai. Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.